Welcome to your Daily Dose of Sunday School, episode 139. We are on on the seventh commandment. You shall not commit adultery. We're looking at it through question 71 of the Westminster Shorter Catechism. What is required in the seventh commandment? The seventh commandment requires the preservation of our own and our neighbor's chastity in heart, speech, and behavior. So, got a couple verses I want to look at. 1 Timothy 2, 9 and 10. Likewise, also women should adorn themselves in respectful apparel with modesty and self-control, not with braided hair and gold or pearls or costly attire, but with what is proper for women who profess godliness with good works. So, there we see, I think this is just a general mindset in these verses about what am I trying to present to the world. I think this would be true for men or women. I consider it an immodest mindset when I'm trying to dress, I'm trying to act in a way that when I walk in the room, everybody has to pay attention to me. Now, those who know me well and under certain conditions, situations, might kind of scoff at that and be like, I don't know how good you're doing at that. My wife can tell you stories. That's fine. But it's been a realization that I've wrestled with for well over a decade, that I should be living to glorify God, not thinking, how can I get everyone's attention on me, whether that's because I'm barely wearing any clothes, which, that's not going to happen, or if it's because I'm just like super flashy and I'm, dressing like Little Richard or something. Y'all don't know who that is. That's fine. My mindset should be drawing attention to God, which I think automatically leads more towards modesty. So we're talking about, if you can figure out, that aspect of preserving our neighbor's chastity, preserving their purity. And that could involve how we dress. That could involve how we act towards them. If we are, a lot of people say, they used to say this to me in middle school, that you're flirting. It was just joking around with somebody, like just being a funny guy. That's not a big deal, but what a lot of people mean when they say you're flirting is you're kind of being a little bit sexual in that. That would be another example of not protecting your neighbor's chastity. And that would be something we avoid. Proverbs 7:10, and behold, this is talking about the adulteress. And behold, the woman meets him dressed as a prostitute, wily of heart. She is loud and wayward. So we've got this woman dressed as a prostitute, and this is kind of the cautionary tale. But you don't want to dress as the villain of Proverbs, okay? You're on the wrong side if they're like, if that's your goal. So don't do that. Now there is a certain mindset. I think this can get abused, and for about 5 years there was a lot of people blogging online about criticizing Christian purity culture. Some of them, I think, were false teachers, but I think some of them had real experiences and they were seeking to have those things corrected, and they claimed, and I imagine most of them did, they claimed to have gone to churches where all the focus on purity was on telling the girls to dress right and not on the boys. Now, our church does not think that way. I think, and I never paid a lot of attention to it because I knew none of the church, that criticism didn't apply to any of the churches I'd been in. So I also know that people like to slander other people online, so I didn't worry about it. But I can see there are churches where the power of the Spirit is denied, and it's all rules. Let's just pound these rules into people's head, and then they'll do better. And our church isn't like that. Our church, from the top down, our pastors are always encouraging us to look to Christ, to be moved by Christ. And the Spirit's at work when we see Christ, when we love him more than we love sin. So, boys, you're not powerless. You need to tap into Christ's power. You need to be meditating on Christ. If you're around in your school, you're going to be around plenty of immodesty in your life. So you cannot rely on the females for this. But still, we cannot deny that the Bible commands modesty. And the desire to be immodest is a desire to wield power over somebody, okay? Sexual power, which is why Beyonce can go like NFL halftime show and act all nasty, and then all the liberals are talking about, well, that was so powerful. Well, they really do understand there was something there. It's a wicked power. It's demonic, but she is exercising power over men through her beauty. And that is something that a Christian young lady doesn't want anything to do with. Rather, like Paul says, she wants to set that aside, set that temptation aside, and instead of saying, how can I trap a man? That's kind of the rap lingo there. How can I trap a man? They're saying, how can I glorify God in the way I live? And look, if you're hoping to marry a godly man, God will bring you a godly man, because the ones who are actually concerned about following Christ, they're going to notice that. The other way just gets you somebody that you can't trust. Violent men, greedy men, unfaithful men. So anyway, seek about it. We're seeking the kingdom of God. Preserve your own chastity, boys and girls. Preserve your neighbor's chastity, boys and girls, through what you do, through what you say, through what you wear. Try to maintain that purity by the power of the Spirit. Okay, meditate on Christ. If you want to be moved and you want to have more power in this fight.